Hi, so have data miners blown the lid on the new sub-races that may be available in the next expansion? Well, it looks like there's a great deal more validity to this claim now. So what is all this thing about sub-races anyway? Because these have been talked about for some time. And I think it comes as a result of, you know, we're used to sort of alternating process largely between new class, new race. Burning Crusade, we got new races. Wrath of the Lich King, we got a new class. Then Cataclysm, new races again. Then Mop, we got a new class and a new race. And then WoD, we didn't get anything. We didn't get a new class, we didn't get a new race, we didn't get new content. Let's forget about WoD. And then Legion, we got a new class again. So you're sort of thinking, oh, is the next one new race? But no one's really excited about a new race. And the reason for this is because one thing that's really clear now is what people really want is customization of their characters, you know, cosmetic customization. And there are so few options. I mean, World of Warcraft, the customization of your character when you create your character was never that good. It wasn't that impressive 13 years ago when WoW came out. And it's really dated now. It's really obvious when you look at any other sort of role-playing game and you can create your own character, how few options we actually get in WoW. So what people really want is further options of that. Blizzard seem a little bit reluctant for that for some reason. And even as long ago as last year, I was talking about, you know, would a better option just be to have some of the different, like the sub-races within things, like with dwarves, you've got different types of dwarves, for example. You've got the iron dwarves and things like that, of Blackrock Mountain. And could you do this with races in general? Would that be a better way of allowing some customization, but in the way that Blizzard like to do it? And you know, not just me, loads of people have been talking about this, And as we get close to the expansion, inevitably, it's sort of heated up. Well, K-Rule has found something. There's an article to this on BlizzPlanet, which of course I'll link below. The reason I'm doing this video is someone tweeted me asking what I thought about an article on Wowhead, which was talking about this as well. And basically what they've found is some races, like what you'd call NPCs, you know, like Nightborne. And normally with an NPC, you know, in the character data files, as far as I understand it, you've got all the same data you would have for player characters, but there's one key difference, and that is where you have the code for the background. So when we go into our account and we go to where our characters are, there's a background that's associated with the home city of that race. There's a value of 0 in it. But there are 4 what you might think are NPCs where there is an actual value for them. So what are these races, or can we call them sub-races? Well, we've got the Highmountain Tauren. That one makes sort of sense. Fairly obvious thing to do, as well as cows have moose. Great, fantastic. Allows a little sub-race. It's a bit more customization. Then you've got the sort of Lightforged Paladin. So the Draenei that we've... I say Paladins, Draenei is what I really mean. That we've encountered as a result of our adventures on Argus. Are they substantially different to the ones on Azeroth? Well, not really, but you know, there are some differences there. Again, a little bit of character customization. But then there are 2 big ones. Because so far you'd be talking 1 Horde, 1 Alliance as well. So all nice and balanced. It all, again, adds validity to it. So Nightborne. So these are like elves, but very different to the Blood Elves and Night Elves we have now. Clearly different models. So definitely that's almost like getting a new race, even if there's no new racials for it. And there was some suggestion here that this, again, would make sense for it to be a Horde sub-race, you know, because Lady Liadrin sort of seems very pally with the Nightborne in terms of common themes, the exiled nature of these elves, I suppose. So that could be another Horde one. And then, and the most perplexing of all, Void Elf. Now, of course, we sort of have a Void Elf at the moment. It's Illyria. Now, so the evidence for it is this. You've got actual data files that have been data mined, and we've got a value for the background that is normally only, in fact, I say normally, exclusively, only has a value with player characters, player races, dwarves, humans, worgen, orcs, goblins, that sort of thing. So now we have these 4 new ones that have a value. So strong suggestion that not new races, because again, there's no hunger for new. We don't want more new races that have limited customization options. What's far better is for them to be merged into the current races as extra customization options. It's still not fantastic, but it's a lot better. It's a big step up, and it's certainly something people would be excited about. I'm very excited about this. But the Void Elf thing, because that might reveal even more than just the news on sub-races. Because there's one Void Elf at the moment, Illyria. So by definition, we can't have that as a playable race. But if you accept this as pretty strong evidence that we are going to be getting these sub-races, and I would take it as, because you're trying to think of other explanations for this, and there are other explanations for it. Blizzard haven't confirmed anything. Until they do, it could always be something else. But you try and think what it could be, and when you can't think of anything, you start to think, okay. It's probably sub-races. So how would the Void Elves come about? That means if you're going to have them as playable races, you have to have more of them, more than just Illyria. So that might well say something about the content that is to come in Legion. Because if we're going to move to a situation where in patch 7.3 now, we have one Void Elf, to the start of the next expansion where we have many, it's an actual sub-race, there's going to have to be a huge storyline where Illyria goes round getting, and this would be Night Elves, because again, you know, so it's 2 for Alliance, 2 for Horde. We've got the 2 for Horde being Nightborne, Highmountain Tauren, and for the Alliance, you're presumably talking about the sort of Lightforged Draenei, as well as the Void Elf. So it'd be a sub-race of Night Elves. So you've got to have a situation where Illyria is getting loads of Night Elves to become these Void Elves. There's going to be a huge conversion going on. So that's very interesting as well. So as I say, we're not just getting a lead in here to the sub-races, we're getting a lead into potentially what the next storyline could be that is to come. Because there is going to be another storyline. There is going to be another patch. Because Antorus isn't the last part of Legion. It's the last major raid of Legion. But not the last storyline. The storyline has to continue. And this may well be a big, big part of it. So that is what I'm thinking of it. I think we don't have much longer to go. Thankfully, there's only a few more weeks till BlizzCon that it will be announced anyway, I'm sure. But that's where we are at the moment. So it looks like we can increase our certainty. Of course, it doesn't get certain until they announce it, that sub-races will be a thing. And then, of course, that opens itself up. Because you think about it, all of these 4 races are associated with Legion. And it covers 4 of the current races. There'll be like subunits of the 4 current races. So then maybe it opens up for the next expansion. And we're introduced to other ones that could be sub-races as well. And maybe they become options for other races for the next expansion. This could be the sort of thing, okay, some people will be thinking World of Warcraft might not go on for like years and years more, but you know, it might. But this could well be a thing. So after every expansion, there's a few more new little sub-races we're introduced to, and you can become them as playable options in the next expansion. Is this how they're going to roll it out? Start off with 4 races, next expansion another 4 races, blah, 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 blah. Not gnomes. Gnomes can, you know, unless it's leper gnomes, show them for the diseased abominations that they really are. But isn't that interesting? Isn't that exciting? So let me know what you think in the comments below. Obviously, as I said, I've linked the articles in the description below. Check those out as well. Say what you think. If you've enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe and share for further content. And until next time, I'll see you later.